There are things science explains well: the fall of an apple, the motion of planets, the nature of light. But sometimes something happens that pulls the ground out from under even the most cautious skeptics, something that doesn't fit into any formula. And in those moments, scientists do what everyone else does. They fall silent and stare. August 15th, 1977 was an ordinary summer evening in the state of Ohio. At the Radio Observatory of Ohio State University, known simply as Big Ear by its staff, everything was running as usual. An antenna, as large as 3 football fields, was methodically scanning the sky. It did this every day. No weekends, no holidays, for years. Its task was simple and staggering: to listen to space, to search the cosmic noise for something that could not have arisen naturally, something artificial. For all that time, nothing. Just noise. Just background. That night, a volunteer astronomer named Jerry Amon was on duty. He wasn't a full-time staff member, just someone deeply in love with science who came to help. He reviewed the telescope's data the next day, August 16th, sitting at a desk with a cup of coffee. The printouts were endless columns of numbers and letters, coded signal intensities. Usually the values ranged from 1 to 4, sometimes 5, 6 at most. That was normal. And then his eyes stopped. Right in the middle of the gray stream of data was this: 6EQUJ5. It wasn't a malfunction, not an artifact. The signal rose exactly the way it should if a source were moving through the antenna's field of view, smoothly, symmetrically, and then faded just as smoothly. It lasted exactly 72 seconds, precisely the amount of time Big Ear could observe any single point in the sky. The signal appeared exactly when it should have. Amon picked up a red marker and circled the sequence. Next to it he wrote a single word: "Wow!" That's how the signal entered history. When the news spread among astronomers, the first reaction was caution. Science does not rush. They began to check. Was it a satellite? No. All known satellites were tracked, and none passed through that region at the right time. An airplane? No. The frequency was protected. Aircraft were forbidden to transmit on it. A terrestrial transmitter? Impossible. The signal came from deep space, from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, where the Milky Way is especially dense. But the strangest detail was this: the frequency, 1420 MHz, not a random number. It is the emission frequency of neutral hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. For decades, physicists and astronomers had called it the universal channel. The logic was simple. Any advanced civilization capable of interstellar communication would know hydrogen and its frequency, and if they wanted to be heard, they would transmit on it. Someone, it seemed, knew. The telescope was pointed back at the same region of the sky, again and again, dozens of times over the following weeks and months. Silence. Absolute, dead silence. The signal never repeated. Not a day later, not a week later, not a year later. It came once and vanished, as if someone had briefly opened a door, looked inside, and quietly closed it again. Years passed. Technology improved. More powerful, more precise telescopes joined the search. The WOW signal became one of the most studied events in the history of radio astronomy. It was analyzed over and over with new tools and new hypotheses. In 2016, a group of astronomers from St. Louis University claimed they had found an explanation. They suggested the signal could have been caused by 2 comets, 266P/Christensen and P/2008Y2, passing through the observation zone at the time. According to their theory, the comets released hydrogen, producing a signal at the exact frequency. The astronomical community reacted coldly. The problem was in the details. In 1977, Big Ear tracked known comet positions, and none were recorded in that region. Moreover, comets are slow, diffuse objects. They do not produce narrow, structured signals. But the WOW signal was exactly that: focused, almost perfectly shaped. Jerry Amon, by then in his 70s, read the paper and said plainly he did not believe it. It did not match what he had seen with his own eyes on that printout. In 2012, on the 35th anniversary of the signal, humanity decided to reply. From a radio telescope in Norway, a message was sent towards Sagittarius. Not an abstract sequence of numbers, but 10,000 Twitter messages from people all over the world. Greetings, questions, drawings converted into binary code, poems, confessions of love. Someone simply wrote, "Hello, we are here." The signal traveled at the speed of light. If its source lies where astronomers suspect, a reply would take hundreds of years to arrive. Maybe more, maybe never. Jerry Amon passed away in 2022. Until the very end, he said the same thing in interviews. He did not know what it was. He did not claim it was aliens, but he also did not claim it was nature. He simply said it was the strongest unexplained signal ever detected by humanity. And that alone is enough not to pretend we understand everything. Big Ear was demolished in 1998. A golf course now stands in its place. The antenna that once captured something impossible disappeared quietly, without ceremony. All that remains is a printout, a yellowed sheet of paper with columns of data, and a red circle around 6 characters, and one word in the margin, written quickly, by hand, with a red marker. Wow! Subscribe and like. Such stories come out regularly, and the next one may be even more unexpected.